Fans of Downton Abbey have long understood that Julian Fellowes takes things away just as fast as he gives them. The Oscar and Emmy-winning writer is now treating his HBO series, A Gilded Age, cruelly. Fellowes has snatched away beloved Aunt Ada's, Cynthia Nixon, happiness literally 2 weeks after married her to the compassionate preacher Luke Ford. Robert Sean Leonard, Luke Ford, the cutest man on TV, died off of The Gilded Age last night. This tragedy is thrust upon Ada in The Gilded Age Season 2, Episode 7, Wonders Never Cease, which takes place between the start of Marion Brooks, Louisa Jacobson, wedding preparations and the celebration of the Brooklyn Bridge. How unkind. The most bizarre aspect, though, the penultimate episode of the second Gilded Age season, airing last night, included more tragedies at the Van Rijn/Brook residence. After being introduced to the railroad firm by his lady friend Maud Beaton, Nicole Brindenbloom, Oscar Van Rijn, Blake Ritson, finds that all of his money has been lost. Maud and her associates were deceitful individuals who led affluent individuals into a traditional investment snare. Oscar gave Maud's banking buddies nearly the whole Van Rijn wealth, thinking he had discovered a fast way to earn a massive return on his investment. They left town as soon as his money was gone. What could be in store for the most beloved old money family of the Gilded Age now? Why was Julian Fellowes treating Ada like this? In what specifics was Maud Beaton's con successful? Here's all you need to know about Wonders Never Cease, the final episode of Season 2 of The Gilded Age. Did Luke Ford's cancer diagnosis last week utterly stump you, as it did Christine Baranski's Aunt Agnes? He merely had a sore back after all. Perhaps in the days before MRIs, he had a slip disc at worst. Actually, not at all. It's cancer. And it kinda begins with a back condition, as Marion explains. In The Gilded Age, Luke Ford passes away from what sort of cancer? Yes, the show never makes that clear. Decider posed the query to executive producer Sonja Warfield as well, but she failed to provide an answer. Rather than disclosing the precise type of cancer Luke had, she provided a somewhat spoilery response for the upcoming episode, which we will have to wait until the final to see. We discover that most cancers don't actually begin with back pain when deciders search the internet to identify what illness this might be. Acute back pain, on the other hand, may indicate the presence of a spinal tumor, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, or as a side effect of any of these cancers. So I guess, choose your poison. You have to admit, it's sort of funny that Julian Fellowes pulled off a con artist plot that had nothing to do with selling a portion of the aforementioned bridge, given all the references to the Brooklyn Bridge throughout this season of The Gilded Age. It comes out that Maud Beaton was anything but a socialite. Working with Mr. Crowther and others, she was a honey trap, snaring unsuspecting rich males like Oscar. The scheme went like this. Maud pretended to be a wealthy heiress in order to penetrate high society. After several meetings, she would focus on a specific person. Oscar Van Rijn is an old-money bachelor in this instance. She was discreetly enticing him to give his family's wealth to her accomplices while posing as the perfect match for a gold digger like Oscar. Maud made references to a profitable railroad transaction involving her family's funds throughout the season. Initially, Oscar portrayed himself as her ally against the intimidating businessman. He then forced his way into the agreement. After he invested a modest sum of money, Oscar became itchy when Crowther returned with a substantial return. Using all of his mother's money, he set out to buy out the other shareholders. Essentially, he was simply handing over his money to Maud, Crowther, and any other con artists they may have associated with them. Maud and Crowther left town as soon as Oscar handed up his money. It came out that the corporate office Oscar frequently went to was actually a renting space. Think Gilded Age WeWork. And it was discovered that Maud never actually resided at the address Oscar had picked her up from. Fans may be able to identify the ruse that Oscar fell for. A very identical plot, complete with the friend trick of disappearing, appear in the past of a character in Leigh Bardugo's Six of Crows trilogy. In summary, Oscar Van Rijn was taken for all that he and his family were worth by Maud Beaton. What does this mean for Marion, Agnes, Ada, and the rest of the family at 61st Street?